Howdy guys, Jimmy Song here. This is going to be another video about something that's kind of related to Bitcoin, but isn't exactly. And that is about fasting and sort of putting yourself in a position to reevaluate your relationship with your food. Now, the phrase relationship with your food might be kind of an odd phrase in the first place, but if you think about pretty much everything in your life, you have some sort of relationship with it, and you use it for certain things, and you abuse it for some other things. And food is definitely one of those things that is both useful but easily abusable. So, for example, we need to eat to live, right? Like you need to eat something every once in a while so that you have energy and so on, and you can function. But oftentimes that's not why people eat. They eat for enjoyment or for coping or for something else. And oftentimes they're addicted to certain substances, oftentimes something like sugar or, I guess it could be hardcore drugs or whatever. But the idea is that there is a relationship based on how you use that item or abuse that item. And thinking about that is important in order to have the optimum sort of relationship or a good relationship with it. The thing about fasting that I really like, and this is something that I've talked about with other people in thinking about fasting, is that it has a tendency to reset your relationship with whatever the thing is. Now, if you're fasting from food, that'll reset your relationship with food. So if you are sort of using food as a coping mechanism whenever you feel bad, or if you are addicted to sugar or something like that, sort of cutting it out helps you to reset that relationship, to change the terms of it a little bit, because you're having to deal with not having that option available, and your body, your mind, your soul like has different mechanisms to sort of deal with all of that. You just if you are addicted to it or you're using it as a coping mechanism, there's a way to sort of deal with it in another way by letting yourself kind of have to deal with it another way. And necessity is the mother of invention. Maybe you start like, writing stuff down or journaling or doing something else to sort of deal with it in a more healthier way. And that's the key to changing that relationship. Now, this can be, applied sort of more generally. If you're addicted to cigarettes, you can think of your relationship with tobacco as a thing, and figuring out like what the right relationship with that would look like. And similar thing with your stuff, right? Like, a lot of our possessions, right? I've talked this, I think I talked about this a while ago with the Marie Kondo video, but we do have a relationship with our stuff, and there's a lot of emotional baggage that's like embedded in it and so on. And I'll talk about that in another video. But, fasting is a way to reset a lot of your relationship with food. And honestly, we have a terrible relationship with food. It's not necessarily your fault. It's oftentimes due to a lot of agribusinesses and sort of bombarding you with a particular type of marketing, and the government and others just straight up telling you lies and so on. But it is something that is very useful, and fasting for some amount of time can be very helpful. Now, if you're interested in this topic, there's an excellent book by Dr. Jason Fung called The Complete Guide to Fasting. I would highly recommend it. I'm not being endorsed by them in any way, shape, or form. I just found it a very good way to think about the whole idea of fasting and how to do it. You could do as little as like 8 hours. Or 16 hours or something like that. That's what you would call intermittent fasting on a 16/8 schedule. Up to, like you can fast for a week or 2 weeks or something like that. And I promise it won't kill you. Most people have enough body fat stored in them, and you can just do the math of how many calories per gram that fat can release, and you do the math, and it's like, okay, yeah, my body can easily last a couple of weeks. Most people have something like 15 to 35% body fat on them. And all of that is energy that your body can just use in lieu of eating. So some things to think about. Hopefully that helps you. This song is done.